Picture this. You're in the grocery store trying to be a responsible adult, and a bag of naturally flavored something is staring at you like, "Come closer, I'm basically a steak." And that, my friends, is how language plays goalie for the food industry. Today we're talking about the most misunderstood little phrase on the ingredients list: natural flavors. Because a lot of my patients are trying to do the right thing, but they're getting ambushed by marketing terms that sound healthy, while their metabolism quietly files a complaint. Quick note, this is education, not personal medical advice, but it is practical, and it might save your pantry from becoming a snack museum. Now, what does natural flavors legally mean? In U.S. labeling law, natural flavor is defined as flavoring constituents derived from things like spices, fruit, vegetables, herbs, meat, seafood, poultry, eggs, dairy, or fermentation products. And the key point is this: the ingredient's significant function is flavoring, not nutrition. Let me translate from regulation into real life. Natural flavors does not mean wholesome, unprocessed, good for weight loss, friendly to your blood sugar, or made by your grandma. It means the flavor origin is from something found in nature. But here's the catch. That same flavor can then be processed, refined, concentrated, and engineered into a flavor system designed to make your brain say, "One more bite won't hurt." And yes, that can still be natural. Now here's where the loophole gets interesting. When you see natural flavor on a label, you are not being told the individual components of that flavor blend. It's basically a trade secret umbrella term. Consumer groups have criticized this because it hides what's actually being used to create the taste and aroma profile, and the regulation structure helps that happen. One key detail: certain incidental additives that come from flavors, like processing aids used in tiny amounts, may not have to be declared on the ingredient list if they meet specific criteria. So your label can look cleaner than the reality behind the curtain. And if you're thinking, wait, so the ingredient list is like a highlight reel, not the full game? Yes, exactly. Now, I want to be fair. Natural flavors are not automatically evil. A natural lemon flavor in sparkling water is not the same as natural flavors in neon-colored cereal that taste like childhood and poor decisions. The bigger issue is where you see it most often: ultra-processed foods. Because flavor systems are how food companies make cheaper ingredients taste premium, make low-fat foods taste indulgent, and make diet foods still feel rewarding. In other words, flavors are often used to compensate for the fact that the food is not really food. Now, let's talk about how natural flavors can keep people hooked, because this is where the doctor's brain kicks in. The brain is a prediction machine. When you smell and taste something, your brain starts forecasting what's coming next: calories, sugar, fat, salt, reward. This is called cephalic phase responses. Your body starts preparing before the food even hits your stomach. And ultra-processed foods take advantage of that by creating what I'll call sensory perfection. Not too bitter, not too bland, not too filling. Just enough crunch, sweetness, salt, and aroma to keep you reaching back into the bag like it owes you money. Food scientists sometimes describe this as optimizing palatability, layering flavor notes, aromas, and mouthfeel to drive repeat bites. And here's the metabolic punchline. When your body is heavy in hyper-palatable foods, it becomes harder to hear real hunger and fullness signals, because your appetite isn't just controlled by your stomach. It's controlled by hormones like insulin, leptin, ghrelin, your nervous system, sleep, and big one, your reward pathways. So if you've ever said, "I'm not hungry, but I want something," that's not a character flaw. That's biochemistry plus engineering. Now, another common misconception. People assume natural means better, but the FDA itself has said it has not established a formal definition of natural through rulemaking, though it has a long-standing policy approach about nothing artificial or synthetic being added that would normally be expected in that food. Translation: natural is a vibe, not a guarantee. And while we're here, a quick detour, because words are getting even more slippery. Recent reporting described how FDA guidance around no artificial colors labeling shifted via enforcement discretion, allowing a claim in some cases even when colors from natural sources are used, raising concerns about consumer confusion. That's not the exact same topic as flavors, but it shows the bigger pattern. Labels can be legally true and still psychologically misleading. Now let's get even more practical. What can natural flavors include? Legally, the flavoring constituents must come from natural sources listed in the regulation: plants, animals, fermentation products, and so on. But that doesn't mean the final flavor blend is simple. It can be highly concentrated extracts, distillates, enzymatically produced flavor compounds, complex mixtures of many components. And depending on the product category, different agencies apply different guidance. For meat and poultry, USDA FSIS has its own guidance on natural flavors on labels. Now, are these flavors safe? Flavor ingredients are often assessed under GRAS pathways that's generally recognized as safe, including work by expert panels like FEMA's program. Though debates continue about transparency and oversight in GRAS determinations more broadly. But here's the point I want you to hear. Safe is not the same as helpful. A substance can be considered safe at typical intake levels and still be part of a food environment that drives overeating, cravings, and metabolic dysfunction. That's the root cause lens. It's not just the ingredient, it's the system, the patterns, the frequency, the ultra-processed delivery vehicle, and the way it interacts with your hormones and nervous system. All right, quick pause. If you're getting value from this, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with that one friend who says, "It's fine, it says natural," while holding something that kind of glows in the dark. Now, let's talk about how to protect yourself without turning grocery shopping into a full-time job. Here's my simple natural flavors decision framework. If the product is a whole food, meat, eggs, fish, plain yogurt, butter, vegetables, fruit, nuts, then natural flavors usually isn't part of the conversation. If the product is processed, ask 3 questions. 1. Is it an ultra-processed crave product? Examples: chips, crackers, sweet snacks, protein desserts, diet treats. If yes, and you see natural flavors, assume it's part of the craving architecture. 2. Where is natural flavors listed? If it's near the top, it's playing a bigger role in the product's identity. 3. What's the health halo? If it's screaming keto, paleo, high protein, plant-based, gluten-free, and natural, but it still tastes like a carnival, that's a red flag. Now, what should you do instead? Here are my practical metabolism-friendly moves. Number 1, make your default diet boring in the best way. I tell patients, boring food is often honest food. Steak doesn't need a public relations team. Eggs don't need natural birthday cake flavors. Number 2, use real flavor at home. Salt, herbs, spices, garlic, citrus, vinegars. If you want sweet, cinnamon, vanilla extract, or actual fruit depending on your goals. 3, if you're trying to lose weight, reduce hyper-palatable exposures. Your taste buds adapt. Your brain recalibrates. Many people notice cravings drop after a couple of weeks of consistently eating real food. 4, watch diet products. A lot of natural flavors show up in zero sugar items. Even if your blood sugar doesn't spike, your appetite signals might still get stirred up. Number 5, if you need convenience, aim for short ingredients lists you can pronounce. Not because syllables are poison, but because complexity often signals ultra-processing. And here's the punchline I tell my patients. If a food needs natural flavors to be edible, it might be a food your body never asked for in the first place. Now let's land this plane. Natural flavors is legal. It can come from natural sources. It can be considered safe under current frameworks. But it's also a labeling shortcut that protects proprietary blends, reduces transparency for shoppers, and often shows up in the foods engineered to keep you coming back for more. So the goal isn't fear, the goal is clarity. Because once you see the trick, it loses power. And if you want more videos that break down healthy sounding labels and help you eat in a way that actually supports metabolic health, click the playlist and check the description, because I keep all the practical stuff there. And here's the question I want you thinking about. What's one health food you used to trust until you actually read the label? Drop it in the comments. I read them. Yes, even the spicy ones.